One night I was watching the news, and after the politics, floods and bushfires, they showed a stranded whale, and an older person in an orca anorak was explaining to camera what was happening. I thought, there's an older person getting out on a blustery winter's day to rally around a giant sea mammal in distress. We should talk to them. So here we are 6 months later, finding out about how orca train their volunteers, alert their network and mount a rescue.
So you have everything in the bags there and the buckets to go through and see what you think you might need. There should be 31 of us, so if you roughly split in half, that would be great.
So what are the basics of marine mammal rescue covered in a training day? Just the basics.
Oh, right. Yeah, so we go through different types of incidents and scenarios we might see, like entanglements and strandings, and also what to do in those situations, like not to put the animal back into the water, keep them wet, keep them cool, things like that.
And what is your role in the organisation?
So I'm an active rescue member, so I'm on the senior backup team, which takes all the calls that come in and then work out a response to the calls.
Okay, and can people quite quickly be mobilised for a stranding?
Yeah, so we have a 24-hour rescue hotline. So as soon as a call comes in, one of the people on the senior backup team will respond to it. Then we send a message out to our, we call them pod groups, right. So whether it's Sydney or Wollongong or Port Macquarie.
Are there many retirees as volunteers?
We do have, and it's very helpful because a lot of people work 9 to 5 jobs and a lot of people are unavailable during the day. So we always have a lot of tasks. We have a newsletter that goes out and a hotline and membership stuff that always needs to be done.
Okay, good.
Because this organisation is looking for people that could come through the week. Yeah. See, whereas Leanne works at somewhere, I work from home. So I could be for myself, I could be someone that could just sort of say, yeah, I can come to that rescue.
It's a great thing to get involved with. It's doing something constructive and looking after the environment. It's a great thing to be clean and green, and it's a very nice, good thing to be involved with.
Okay, so that's your main motivation, is the environment in general, yeah?
Yeah, I've grown up with an interest in wildlife all my life, and the whales are beautiful things. They're just into photography, so the two things go together.
And basically what we do is we respond to marine mammal incidents. So we run a 24-hour hotline, and when we get a call to alert us of a whale, dolphin, seal or dugong incident, whether it be a stranding, entanglement or anything else, we basically activate our members in that area through a text system and they get sent out and they respond. Very good.
By entanglement you mean in nets?
Sometimes in nets, sometimes in fishing lines, sometimes in crab pots. So initially when people sign up to become a member, before they can be sent out to an incident and be covered by our licence, they need to attend an initial training workshop. So we run all of these over summer, which is essentially our off season. We have the most incidents over winter. And basically that day, the first half of the day will be theory. So we'll teach all of our volunteers about who orca are, what we do, what sorts of things they can expect from rescues, what they need to do, and then the afternoon session we actually take them down to the beach and we use realistically weighted training animals and we actually go through some rescue scenarios with them to help them be a little bit more prepared.
Excellent.
But as I say, the danger point is these petrol fins. They've got to be protected 100%. It's got to go in with the handle underneath. Now, just gently like that, yep, take it under and pull it through. Make sure you've got the flat, pull it through. Now get half, you've got to dig it a little, don't pull it right through, make sure you slide it under it. Because if you pull it, you're going to pull the skin. If you can get water on a dolphin or a whale, that increases their survival 50% straight away the moment you start doing that.
Fins always stay, basically with the fins and the pecs and the tail, they always stay uncovered. Same with the eyes and the blowhole. You never cover the blowholes up. If you've got a knife, scissors, anything, put the slit through it, and that way you put it over it. So that's basically it. So I'll let you have a go and put in water over it.
Now just remember,
So what you're doing here, you dig a hole, right all the way down.
course. Our retirees at times are amongst our most valuable volunteers because, of course, we can't foresee when our incidents are going to occur. A lot of the time it's during the day, during the week, and we find that our retirees, they have really flexible schedules and they're really ready to respond when something comes up. So yeah, most definitely we have a lot of retirees in Orca. A lot of our really heavily involved, and especially some of our retired members, they spend a lot of time on whale watching boats. We actually, one of our committee members, he's actually our rescue manager, Lee, he goes out every day during whale season on a whale boat, and he's actually their spotter, so he helps them to see where the whales are, and that also helps the boats to avoid the whales. Yeah, there's lots of members that will spend their days just watching the whales. That's what they love to do. So
How did you get involved in Orca?
I heard about Orca through the grapevine and went along to the training workshop, and it all went from there. It was really easy to get involved. Really accepting group. Yeah, it's a great organisation to be a part of.
The Orca whale census. Okay, we've just had that. That was just about 2 weeks ago, so it's towards the end of June. Each year they'll publicise the date. It's on a Sunday, and you can just go and be on a headland and just look and record on a form what you see. So how many actual humpbacks you see, most likely to be humpbacks, and people will be doing that all up and down the coast. And I understand that this year's survey was actually very successful. The results haven't been published yet, they're still being collated, but I think it was the most successful yet.
As in most numbers?
Yeah. The number of, like, the humpback population here was only, when I was born in the early 60s, it was only a couple of hundred. Like, they'd all been hunted to death pretty much, and there were hardly any left. But then whaling was banned back in 1963, and slowly the population started to increase. It's going up by 10% per annum, and so there's about 30,000 now. So it's a huge recovery, and about the only good news story I know environmentally. And so with this 10% population increase, so they're on the way up to Queensland right now. The mums will be giving birth to the calves, and we expect about 3,000 calves to come south past us later this year, which is pretty exciting.
Excellent.
So I fell in love with the whales almost 10 years ago, and I just do anything I can to help them. And Orca's, it's the place to be. And one thing members of the public can do to help, even if you're not a member of Orca, if they see something, they think there's maybe an injured or ill seal or whale or dolphin, they can call the Orca hotline, and it's manned 24/7, so it's always there, and they can just report it, and then Orca will send out a message to all of the local volunteers in that area and see who's available, who can go and check it out for them.
I was amazed at the turnout today. I mean, I know it's a beautiful day by the beach, so why wouldn't you? But there's got to be a good 30 or 40 volunteers showed up for their first session, and they're still here learning away. And yeah, I think it's thanks to modern technology that they can summon everyone at very short notice with SMS and all the rest of it. And here they are putting their love to the test by volunteering for Orca. And doesn't matter how old you are, someone in their 90s, we've heard, you can contribute to these wonderful mammals.
Mm-hmm.